Hi everyone, my name is Debbie Carpenter, and today I'm going to be talking with all of you about distinguished practice in the area of establishing relationships. If you notice the quote at the bottom of this slide, it reads, "The strength of our student relationships makes the difference in translating our passion for teaching into their passion for learning." We are very interested when it comes to distinguished practice in helping instructors to connect and establish meaningful relationships with students so that they will want to try their best and persevere throughout the 5 or 6 weeks of your course. So let's look at some ways that we can do that today. Let's take a look first at the IQR rubric so that you can see when it comes to distinguished practice, what are those words that should leap out at you from the rubric language so that you know what you should be shooting for. Notice in the area of distinguished, you see words like creatively uses, to enhance relationships, helping students to be willing to take risks, to actively engage. So distinguished instructors who do this have found ways to be creative in really promoting an exciting, warm, nurturing, friendly, funny environment where students are excited to be and where they feel safe taking risks and participating. So we're going to look at some ways that that can be done. Now, what is it that makes the distinguished difference? In addition to the boldface words I just shared with you, it's also about meeting and surpassing requirements consistently, not once or twice in the span of a course, but when evaluators see this happening on an ongoing basis, this creative method of really getting students to engage in class. So let's look at some other components that would indicate distinction in the area of establishing relationships. Announcements are positive, encouraging, and develop a trusting community of learners that you can actually see that and feel that in the tone of the message. This might mean that the instructor uses images, graphics, inspirational quotes. Perhaps certain words are set off with color or size or italics, that this emotion, this connection is really being fostered through the written message. Instructor profile is warm and welcoming, and the required elements are shared in a way that establishes credibility and fosters connection with students. Students want to feel as if they really want to get to know their instructor, that the instructor is sharing not just professional expertise, but also personal passions too, so that there is evidence that the instructor really wants to be known as an individual, as a human, not just as an instructor. The Ask Your Instructor in our inbox responses are complete and address student concerns and frustrations in a professional manner. A distinguished instructor will be approachable, will be available, and will respond quickly to students' concerns and questions. Each initial discussion response is unique and relates to the post specifics. So you'll see that a distinguished instructor will really show students that their contributions are important, will find commonality, will share additional personal stories or experiences to really make that student feel connected and validated. Tier 2 response is personal, validating, and inspires ongoing engagement. A Tier 2 response would be something that the instructor says after an initial question has been posed. So an instructor responds and poses a question. The student then responds to that question. A Tier 2 response would be when the instructor checks back in. So really the goal there is providing ongoing, engaging academic dialogue. Promotes collaboration in discussion forums. How does the instructor get all students to come together and engage? This is a sign of distinction in establishing relationships. Creatively uses available tools, announcements, the profile, expectations. discussion responses to help to promote establishing relationships. And lastly, and this is something that is relatively new in our Canvas platform, that the instructor makes the attempt to be more present in class using the record media feature, where the instructor has made his or herself seen in class through video, through photographs, through audio message, so that students don't just read what the instructor writes, they can see their instructor, they can hear the instructor, because this again promotes that feeling of authenticity, that realness in establishing relationships. So let's look at an exemplar of a welcome announcement. This is one of the first things that students will see when they enter the classroom. You'll notice an inspirational visual. Someone at the top of a mountain just really celebrating their success. Here, the instructor uses color and boldface to capture the attention of the student, to show the student that the instructor believes in each one, that each one can be distinguished if they're willing to make the effort and be determined. So this is the beginning of an announcement where the instructor is talking about what it means to earn distinguished marks in the area of discussions. So you'll notice it's just an excerpt, but you'll notice even at the bottom, the instructor says, after you read this entire announcement, please reply. Acknowledge that you understand and are ready to go. So the instructor is encouraging connection, encouraging response, encouraging accountability, and doing it in a way that feels friendly and supportive and visually engaging. In the second exemplar, this instructor has posted an announcement in the announcement section. And this particular announcement looks like it's an inspiration, an opportunity for students to read something inspiring and then to come together and engage and talk about it. So you'll notice here that the instructor begins with an engaging graphic, a quote that really kind of captures the theme of what this story is going to be about, kind of sets up the story, sets up the article, if you will, for students. Then students have an opportunity to read an article, and the instructor has encouraged them, look for the discussion thread where you can discuss your thoughts. I'll be eager to hear from you. So again, promoting a chance to come together and collaborate, to come together and talk about something inspiring, and to do it in a way that the instructor is going to be there too, kind of guiding and participating in the discussion. So this third exemplar shows what that thread might look like. It's kind of a connection to the past slide, how the instructor might, again, attempt to promote that engagement within the discussion forum. So at the top, in red capital letters to pique the interest of students, all class respond. Thoughts on the week one inspiration? So here this instructor has posted an inspiration in the announcement section, but here is a place in the discussion thread where students are encouraged to engage. So the instructor says, read the announcement, watch the clips, share your reflections, and read what's already been written. That way, the conversation is much more authentic than every student responding to the instructor. Students also have the opportunity to respond to each other if they want to do that. Again, promoting a time and a place for students to come together and talk and engage. Now, exemplar 4 is a video response. Again, the record media feature in Canvas allows instructors to engage and reply to a post or reply to an assignment with a video message. Now, really think about your students and think about what makes them feel safe and comfortable. You don't have to be dressed up in a stuffy suit. You know, in the spirit of this example here, it doesn't even look like this instructor is dressed up at all. You just want to get on, look into your webcam and smile and engage with students in that way. That this is a way to build connection. It's a way for your students to see you smile, to see the twinkle in your eye, to hear you laugh, to hear you make a mistake, to hear you stumble a little bit and then keep going. Showing students that you're real in class is a wonderful way to get them to feel close to you. So here again, an example of distinction in class, using that video response to promote that virtual presence in the class. And then here's an example of just a typical discussion response. Here the instructor is replying to TISA, and first of all being very validating, and here it's set off in boldface, as well as the kudos at the bottom to really make sure that the student knows that they should be proud of a job well done. So here the instructor is really sharing a commonality, agreeing with the student, and sharing why. Just simply saying, good job, I agree, doesn't really validate the student because they don't know why. However, if the instructor shares a story of her own here, which kind of connects to the idea or the thought shared by the student, this also helps to establish that strong teacher-student relationship and will increase the likelihood that students are going to want to continue contributing in future weeks. Now, going outside the four walls of the classroom can also be very effective in helping to set a friendly, supportive, approachable tone. So this is an example of a welcome email that an instructor might send to students outside of the realm of the class. The course is going to start perhaps on Tuesday. This could be sent, the day before. It could be sent in the scope of the first week, but it's something that, again, validates students and lets them know that they can be successful. So notice here the instructor extends a personal welcome to each and every student. This one happens to be Amber, and shares three things. Effort is the most important factor, okay? Not intelligence, effort. We really want to encourage that growth mindset in the classroom. Giving the students the opportunity to improve an assignment or improve a discussion, letting them know that, we know that they're not perfect, and if they want to take advantage of an opportunity to resubmit and improve a grade, you might consider offering this opportunity to your students in class. And number 3, reading and implementing feedback will make the students stronger. So there's also, if you notice at the very bottom, the instructor says, what makes you anxious? Is there a nickname you prefer? How can I help you to be successful? Be as brief or lengthy as you like. There's no word count here. It's the instructor really making an effort to get to know his or her students as the class is getting underway. So taking that next step, taking yourself from being a proficient instructor to a distinguished instructor may mean employing some of that creativity you have inside you. Thinking about ways that you can really emote as you are sharing the written word with your students. How can you be more real to them in the class? How can you show yourself visually? How can you share your voice? How can you share your enthusiasm with graphics or quotes or the manner in which you write? You're going to find more examples, exemplars, and resources in the modules section of COE 101 so that you can look to take your practice from proficient to distinguished. Thank you so much for listening, and make it a great day.